to this week's episode of EMP News. Welcome back to this week's episode of EMP News.
Don't flood on by this episode. Love chocolate chip cookies? So do we. This week we've made one. Check it out.
Welcome to the first episode of Cooking with Ella and Paige.
For this episode, we are cooking a cookie cake. Woo!
While we're baking, we're going to be answering some questions.
First question is, what is our dream vacation?
My dream vacation is probably going to the Maldives or Bora Bora because I really would love to go to the beach there with the crystal clear blue water.
My dream vacation, I personally would love to go to Hawaii. I always see pictures there and it looks so pretty.
What is the worst movie you've ever seen?
Worst movie I've ever seen is 500 Days of Summer. My mom usually likes to force us to watch movies, and that's just one that really didn't stick with me.
My worst movie I've ever seen was probably the new Netflix one, Hubie Halloween. It had so many great actors in it, but the storyline and the acting was absolutely terrible.
The next question is, what TV series do you keep coming back to and rewatching?
For me, it's gonna have to be Friends.
For me, it's gonna have to be Psych.
What is something you like but are kind of embarrassed to admit?
I'm not embarrassed by this. So I guess that kind of defeats the question, but I love Minecraft.
This is kind of weird, but I love space movies.
The next question is, what are you looking forward to that's happening soon? Something I'm looking forward to that's happening soon is going back to school so I can finally see more friends and start field hockey.
I'm looking forward to my spring break trip to Salt Lake City, Utah. I'm going to go visit the University of Utah, and we're also doing a big ski trip. What is something that's expensive but worth it? For me, I'm gonna have to go with my ski jacket. It was very expensive, but I love it and I love wearing it.
Something that's expensive but worth it for me has to be golfing because it's a real bonding moment for me and my dad. Our next question is, how did we meet? So how did we meet? We met 3 years ago through mutual friends while hanging out with them. 3 years later, we finally decided to hang out with each other because Paige was scared to hang out with me. And we found out that we are the same people.
The next question is what is the most spontaneous thing we have done?
So the most spontaneous thing that's ever happened to me is I was working at this restaurant as a cook and I wasn't very good and they were about to fire me, but then this rat was just cooking out of nowhere. I was like, oh my God. So I decided to hide the rat under my hat and it would pull my hair, telling me how to make food. And I became a world-renowned chef.
My most spontaneous thing I've ever done is when there was this blocked off road that my friends and I needed to get to, but we couldn't get to it, obviously. So what our only option what to do is we did have a friend that was a pilot. So we loaded these cars up on the airplane, and our only option was to reverse out of the plane and skydive in our car so we could get onto the property. It was quite a thrilling moment. I was scared for my life, but did we make it through? Yes, we did. Time to put our cookie cakes in.
Okay, so the cookie cakes are now done cooling off and ready to eat. We hope you enjoyed this first cooking episode of EMP News.
With all the snow, we had to learn how to shred the powder. This week, check out me teaching Ella how to ski.
The other week, Paige taught me how to ski. Here's how it went. What made me want to try skiing is I really wanted to shred the powder since I heard all my friends talking about it, being like, oh, we gotta shred the powder soon. I just wanted to really experience what that was. The best advice my teacher Paige Run gave me was when turning, lift up your foot to turn. When I tried that, I ended up falling and not being able to get back up. But next time I went down the hill, I was able to do it like a pro. My least favorite thing about skiing has to be was how wet everything got. My snow pants were soaking wet, my face mask was soaking wet, and it was really just uncomfortable. It made everything cold. And even when we got into the car afterwards, everything was just wet underneath too. Pizza and french fries is, first off, a food you can't get in the cafeteria at the resort we were at. but it is also just a triangle you make with your feet and like keeping your feet straight or something. I'm not too sure. I think pizza helps you stop. I don't know. I've only been skiing once. Now a quick montage of the pro Paige rung skiing. This week, we took a trip to Western Michigan to see a potential future home.
You should have seen the way that you bloom. I think I saw your face in the moon. I promise I'll be with you as soon as I find a way up. You're farther than a kiss on the phone. There's things about you I'll never know. I hope that one day we'll be in love when you're not far away. You really make me wanna fly, cross my heart and hope to die. Lonely, you're the reason why I can feel those butterflies when I go to sleep at night. When I go to sleep at night. Lonely, you're the reason why I can feel those butterflies when I go to sleep at night. I finally know the reason why, yeah. I'm never really satisfied, yeah. Waking up a paradise, yeah, without you by my side.
Sweat you later.